This is a review of the Salomon Ultra Glide 4 trail running shoe, complete with review on trail. Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about trail running shoes today because I have a new pair to share. Over the past year, I've been running in these guys, the Norda 001s. They have been absolutely phenomenal trail shoes. They have taken a beating. They're a little stinky, but they've been great. These shoes have taken me on some incredible trail runs. I have raced in these shoes. I did a trail race up in Alta in Utah in these, and obviously they've carried me through all my runs here in Florida on the trails, as well as joining me when we went out to Colorado and Rainier and Washington. I did not wear these on the approach to Rainier. We were actually in our double boots at the trailhead, which was crazy. However, they did go on many, many hikes up there. So these babies have seen some things and they've been absolutely wonderful. I think my only qualm with these shoes, if I'm being honest, is if I'm running a long distance. So I did run my last 20 miler in them, and overall they were fine. I am just curious if there is something out there that has a bit more of a max cushion. I run my everyday training runs in on Cloud Surfers, which are a pretty cushioned shoe. They're very plush. There's not a crazy amount of stack. They're just very plush. These feel good, but they don't feel plush in the way that the Cloud Surfers do, if that makes sense. So it got me thinking, what else is out there? What can I try? And I saw the new Salomon Ultra Glide 4s, and it piqued my interest. Watched a couple of videos about them and just kind of what they're used for, and it's more distance trail running, and it does have more of that cushion that I was looking for. So without further ado, here they are. Let's do a little unboxing. Initial thought is I love the design. These feel kind of in a similar vein that my Nordas do in terms of style. Like, they're not identical, but there's kind of a common thread happening here. The light colored upper with the dark colored lower. I really like that look personally. I know they're gonna get dirty, but I don't care. These also kind of have the same look where it goes around the entire perimeter of the shoe at the bottom. And I really like that look. The cat is gonna get in the box. You know what they say, if I fits, I sits. Something else that I thought was cool were just these little details. I love the lacing system that Salomon has. It's one of my favorites, but I like the laces on this and the pops of color that goes along with the white and gray palette. One of my initial thoughts too is just the bottom of the shoe. Like, I have never seen anything like this. Obviously the lugs are not new to me, but this kind of wavy pattern is something that I've not experienced before. They're very lightweight. So a 9-ounce shoe, which is pretty light. Like, this is an extremely lightweight shoe for the cushioning that it advertises that it provides. This shoe has a 6mm drop and a 4mm lug. Definitely like, a nice little squishy bottom here. They advertise it as a run frequency of 4 or more runs per week and distance on trails, which this is exactly what I was looking for. Mixed terrain, which works out really well because here in Florida we have, your typical vegetation and roots. Then we have the sugar sand, which is so fun to run through. And then, I'm going to want to take these when I go out of town to mountains and, potentially like desert and clay environments. They're advertising that it is more lightweight than the version prior. I guess they cut some weight somewhere along the way, and that it's more breathable, which is going to be great in the humid weather in Florida. The Nordas also are extremely breathable too, I will say. What I've run into with shoes that have Gore-Tex obviously is they're usually not super breathable, just given the nature of the protection that they offer.
What?
But I'm excited to see how breathable these are. Dolly is super interested in this video. It's very, very cute. Let's put these babies on and go for a run. First off, gotta lace them up. I love the Salomon lace system. You roll them and tuck them under the tongue so they're nice and out of the way. First impressions are they are super bouncy, like very, very, very bouncy. There's some room in the toe box. I feel like I could get a little bit more of a lace lock going so that I don't slide around, but I have room for my feet as well and for my toes to not be bumped up against the toe box. I am loving it. I can feel the support in my arch, which is great because I've got very high arches. I felt a bit like SpongeBob walking out here because they were very loud given the the lugs and the texture here on the bottom, but I think in time that will go away when they get dirty and sandy and all that stuff. I had grand plans to take these out to the roads, but the weather was not cooperating, so I decided to do my 5-mile run on the treadmill wearing the new shoes. I just did a run on the treadmill, 5 miles. I would have gone outside, but the weather is not great here in Florida today. It's very rainy and it's about to get pretty cold, which I'm excited about that part, but it's very windy and rainy out. But the shoes felt wonderful. Just getting used to them, the feel, but super bouncy, very soft. Felt like a very cushioned ride. I didn't notice any hot spots. So yeah, so far they feel great, and I'm excited to take them out on the trails next. I pulled up to Wakiva Springs around 8 a.m. and was one of the first in the gate. January is typically not as busy as the summer, so it's nice to not have to worry about huge crowds. I'm planning on running the Volks March Loop this morning, which is about 6 miles. It's a mix of roots and the typical Florida scrub sugar sand environment, so it'll give these shoes a nice test. Pulled up to Wakiva and about to go test out the shoes on trail. So let's go. I'll show you guys what the springs look like before I hit the trail. This is the famous Wakiva Spring, and it is absolutely stunning, especially when the sun's out, because it really shows how crystal clear the water is and blue, a greenish blue. This is one of my favorite places to go to enjoy wild Florida that's like super near the house. So very grateful for this park. Before you hit the trail, there is a map. Make sure you take a look at it to see which loop you're on. And yes, we do have bears in Florida. I'm about 2 miles in, and so far so good. Honestly, I kind of forgot I was wearing new shoes, which is sort of the best situation you can be in. Now for the sugar sand. And I cannot tell you how important it is to have lightweight shoes when running through sand. I feel a lot of room in the toe box, which is really nice when I have to kind of pivot on this terrain around roots and whatnot. I'm almost 4 miles in at this point, and the shoes are still feeling great. My feet don't feel overly warm, which is great. I can definitely attest to the breathability. I'll be curious how many miles I get out of these shoes before they start feeling not as durable. I do believe that they are built for distance, so I could see myself getting quite a few miles out of these. And there we go, 6 miles in the new Salomon Ultra Glide 4s, and absolutely incredible shoes. These really impressed me, I have to say. Okay, that run is done, and now I am jumping in the springs for sure. But that was really nice. The shoes did amazing, I will say. They're super comfy. I'm gonna take them off because I want to get in the water, and these are my water shoes. So say goodbye to the Salomons. They were great. Can't wait to wear them more often. And they didn't even get that dirty, so that's a plus. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Give it a like. It helps my videos get shown to the right audience, and perhaps consider subscribing if you're into running, trail running, mountains, and more. See you in the next video.